here. Fantastic. So great to see everybody. Hope you all had a nice weekend. Really appreciate you joining me today. I'm going to go at a fairly fast pace today. We've got quite a lot to get through. This is the first of the 3 LinkedIn sessions. Then we've got a wrap-up session at the end. So what we're going to do today is really just put LinkedIn in context. Really interesting also, this coincides with, there was a post in a Facebook group yesterday. LinkedIn seems to be coming up with quite a lot of regularity these days. And it's interesting to see people's different views of what it is, what it isn't, how effective it has been or not, as the case may be. The simple fact of the matter is, LinkedIn is a remarkable tool, but like any other bit of software that you use in your business, unless you've been trained on how to use it, you'll never see the real benefits of it. And so time and time again, I see financial advisors saying, oh, we've got too many recruiters approaching us. And if you've got recruiters approaching you on LinkedIn, I'm afraid to say that's your fault. But it's easily corrected. It means that your profile has been set up to appeal to recruiters. It hasn't been set up to appeal to your dream clients, your ideal clients. So let's crack on. If I'm going too fast, as I said, you will get the, we've just done that wrong, just bear with me. You will get the slides and the recording as well. So let's press the right buttons and just somebody give me a thumbs up if they can see a slide. Fantastic, good stuff. Okay, good stuff. Let me just get rid of that and we're done. Okay, so today we're going to start looking at LinkedIn. There's going to be a little bit of homework at the end so that we make sure that we actually get some results out of this. And I think for a lot of financial advisors, LinkedIn's just quite hard work. You know, we're all on there. We're not quite sure why we're on there. And it doesn't really have the impact that everyone promises that it should. So I'm going to try and break some of that down. I've got what I call the LinkedIn transformation model, which is a way of using LinkedIn which literally attracts the people that you want to work with. You've probably had LinkedIn consultants approach you in the past where they said for 800 quid or $1,000 a month, they will reach out and find the clients for you. It is so much easier and so much cheaper if we can turn it around the other way so that your ideal clients come to you rather than you have to put all the work in. But that presupposes we've done some work in advance, and that fundamentally revolves around your profile. This particular model focuses around actually having a strategy, getting your profile right, how you interact and engage with people, how you network and how you use the platform to create community, the content you post. There are company features on LinkedIn as well. And there's a few other hidden things as well. Now, we're not going to go into all of those today, but that's broadly speaking how the model works. So what we're going to look at today is background to LinkedIn. We're really going to get your profile into a state that just once you've got your profile right, you will see an immediate and measurable improvement in your visibility on LinkedIn, in the LinkedIn search results, and your entire experience of LinkedIn. We're going to talk a little bit about how we engage with people, and we're going to talk about the first stage of how we post content that will actually attract people to you. When you stick around to the end, I'm going to point you to a link where you can get a free copy of my book, which includes my LinkedIn scripts, messaging and connection scripts as well. And it'll enable you to take, I've got like an online LinkedIn health check. It's a scorecard. You've probably heard me mention that before. You answer a few questions about how you use LinkedIn, and it will give you a personalized report based on how you're actually using the platform. But you'll get a free copy of the book as well, and the scripts. So I showed this in the first section, and I just want to repeat this point that this is how a lot of people would have us posting content onto the internet right now as financial advisors. And it simply isn't sustainable, particularly if you want to attract a certain type of client. Most financial advisors, in my experience, do not want any old Tom, Dick and Harry as their clients. We would rather have something a bit more focused, maybe something in a niche. And really the idea is to be thinking about, well, okay, where do my ideal clients hang out? And for the most part, for most financial advisors, except for those of you that are dealing with clients in their 80s and over, your clients are already on LinkedIn. So that's the bit that we're focusing on. I also want to make this point again, that, in many ways, LinkedIn is nothing to do with technology, but it's everything to do with technique. It's about how you use the platform to attract the people that you really want to work with. And that means forgetting about social media and start thinking about social networking. The two are very different things. And it's important to remember that the LinkedIn algorithm rewards its users for networking on the site and not broadcasting on the site. Social media is broadcasting, social networking is interacting and engaging with other people. And if you keep that at the back of your mind, whenever you're on LinkedIn, you will see an amazing difference in how effective the site is for you. So it rewards you for networking, and that means personalizing how you interact and engage with people. And I'll give you some examples of that. Now, when I say personalization, what do I mean? And this is a key marketing approach that we need to be thinking about in all our marketing that we do right now. Some of you may know that I spent about 10 years with Zurich Life, most of it on the road as a broker consultant. Then I kind of went through the ranks, went into the key account area. And when I left Zurich Life, I was head of national accounts. Now, as head of national accounts, it meant that I was on the sort of marketing and development team, and it meant that I had a share of the budget for marketing. And that meant that advertising agencies would approach me and try and get some cash out of us. One advertising agency sent me this. I've not even opened it. I like this so much. It was a transparent envelope, and it says, "Phil Calvert, you change your toothbrush when it's worn out, so why not your agency?" And it looks like it's been written in finger in the mist on a mirror. So this was personalized to me. It was done before Photoshop. It was done by hand. It was airbrushed. Equally, this was another one that an advertising agency sent me. I wonder if that got my attention. Well, yes, it did. I still use this. They'd actually, again, before Photoshop, this was done very, very carefully, personalized marketing to get my attention. And I think this is a real opportunity for financial advisors to think about how they use personalized marketing. And LinkedIn is one of the ways that you can actually do that. And a great example of this was a few years ago. I was selling my house, and I went down into the town, went around all the estate agents just to see what they all had to say, see what they all had to promise. And the first thing I noticed was they all looked and they all said exactly the same thing. Literally, there was nothing to differentiate the different estate agents. They all promised me their best attention at all times. They all promised me a great service. They all said the same thing. And barring a few quid either way on the fees, there was nothing to differentiate themselves until the following day, when I opened my post the following day, and in an envelope addressed to me was a piece of red carpet. I thought, okay, fine, interesting. When I turned over the red carpet, this is what it said on the other side. Philip, handwritten, all our clients get the same treatment, red carpet treatment, right? And they were the one that got the business. They bothered to personalize their follow-up in a very clever, really simple way. And I kind of give you that as a freebie. When we come out of lockdown, get down to your local carpet center and buy up a few square yards of red carpet, chop it into 6 by 8 inch squares, and send them to every prospect you get. It's so simple. Good old-fashioned, old-school marketing, but personalized. Really got my attention. So whenever I speak at a conference, I always ask everybody, put your hands up if you're on LinkedIn. And like almost everybody puts their hands up. I then say, now put your hand up if you know why you're on LinkedIn. And if I'm lucky, half a dozen hands might go up. And I then ask them, now put your hands up if you've got a documented LinkedIn plan/strategy. No hands ever go up. And that's half the problem. We've got business plans, and admittedly, some of those business plans may be back of an envelope job, but at some point we had to think about, okay, I've got a business, I've got goals for my business. How am I going to approach this? Am I going to go down a niche marketing route? Am I going to do lifestyle financial planning? Am I going to focus on mortgages and protection? You have a plan. And most IFAs have got a little bit of a plan when it comes to how they're going to do the marketing. But the single most effective tool they can use online, they haven't got a plan for. And I'm going to put it to you that of all the marketing tools that you could use online, LinkedIn is probably right up there at the top as the most effective. Now, the thing is, right now, LinkedIn is phenomenal. LinkedIn today, the beginning of 2021, is like Facebook was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, you could do pretty well anything on Facebook as a financial advisor and you would attract clients, full stop. It's as simple as that. The only thing is, most financial advisors 5 years ago were on Facebook, but they wouldn't go anywhere near using it as a marketing or a lead generation tool for fear of committing some appalling compliance gaffe. These days, Facebook is great, but if you really want to get some results on Facebook, you really need to pay to use it, and that means paying for advertising. As I said in the first session, I really haven't got a problem with paying for Facebook advertising or paying someone to do my Facebook advertising for me, as long as for every £1 I spend in advertising, I get at least £2 come out the other side. And I'll say it again, for those of you that might have missed it on the first time, if you would like to be introduced to someone who can do Facebook advertising really effectively, just drop me a line and I'll happily introduce you to them. So there's the really good news, is right now LinkedIn is amazing. You get free organic reach. There's about 700, it's almost 800 million members on there, certainly around the world. It's very easy to get attention if you know how. Whether you are focusing on businesses or consumers, you can do both on LinkedIn. It works on the principle that people buy people. It does not work on the principle of he who shouts loudest gets the most attention. And, you know, it is, yeah, we can lump it in the social media category, but at the end of the day, it's a social networking platform. Unfortunately, most financial advisors are totally and utterly wasting time on LinkedIn. We all do that. I waste time on LinkedIn as well. You know, you go onto the platform, you see the news feed, you have a bit of a scroll, see what's going on. Then you see the little red dot. You think, well, maybe someone wants to connect with me, and we have a look, see who wants to connect with me. And oh, it's another recruiter. Or maybe it's another financial advisor, and then we think, well, what's the etiquette? Should I connect with people or should I not connect with people? Then we go and have a look in the groups. We just waste so much time on LinkedIn. And the really, really important thing is that we have a plan. And I'm going to give you a hint of a plan that will really, really help you to get most of it. Now, there's still a lot of people that perceive that LinkedIn is little more than a job site. And true, they still make a sizable chunk of their profits from job advertising, but LinkedIn is so much more than job advertising. I mean, what is LinkedIn today? Well, let me put all of those up on the screen. It's whatever you want it to be. Now, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, and the idea, the strategy is to make LinkedIn an indispensable business tool for use in your business. You know, that's what Microsoft did. The products that Microsoft launched were designed to work right across all the likely business aspects of your business that you would ever need. So LinkedIn is whatever you want it to be. And the more bits of LinkedIn that you use, the more they reward you. When I say reward you, they make you more visible in the search results, they make your content more visible as well, and they send more of the people who care about the things that you care about to come visit your profile. Now, clearly, you can't use all of those tools, but the more bits of LinkedIn that you use, the more beneficial it is to you. So LinkedIn, when you are on LinkedIn, they want you to feel that you don't need to go anywhere else to get what you need in your business. I mean, it's even got the news now. You probably noticed that it's got the latest news. So it's turning itself into a news platform as well. But underpinning it all is the fact that LinkedIn is a search engine. LinkedIn now is, I would call it, the people and expertise search engine. And right now on LinkedIn, there are people searching for the expertise you have as financial advisors. They don't always type in the words that you might assume they would be typing. They don't necessarily type in pensions expert in Reading or wherever you happen to be, they'll be using all sorts of different words. So half the game is to try and figure out what words are they actually using. So it's worth experimenting and playing around with the search engine. But the search engine is extremely powerful. The thing is, there are a lot of financial advisors on LinkedIn. So we want to make sure that you guys have got an unfair advantage over everyone else. And I know that most financial advisors in the UK are not in competition with each other, but if you're going to be on LinkedIn, you want to make you might as well make sure that you dominate the search results for your particular area of expertise, so that when they come look at your profile and you start a conversation with them, you're in a better position to pick and choose the people that you actually want to work with. Now, I mentioned that LinkedIn is a networking site. And when LinkedIn first appeared in 2003, the idea was to kind of replicate and to complement and to enhance the networking that we already did in the real world. So maybe you were at a trade show, maybe you were at a conference, maybe you were at a BNI meeting or other official networking groups, or maybe you just bumped into someone in a hotel bar when you were on business somewhere. Real networkers are people who use their ears first and their mouth second. Yeah, they are more interested in what the other person has to say than what you have to say. I don't know if you've ever been to any networking events, but we've probably all seen this. The worst type of networkers are the people who sneak into the room before everybody else and they put a business card on all the chairs and all the tables. That's not networking. Collecting business cards is not networking. Networking is about showing real interest in other people in the expectation of getting absolutely nothing in return. So here are 3 simple questions that if you, when we can all go out again, we go to networking events. Next time you go to a networking event, ask these 3 questions. Instead of what do you do, which is what most people ask them instead, what's your area of expertise? What are you really good at? And then shut your mouth and listen to what they have to say. Yeah. And they will tell you, because it's a great question to be asked. When someone says to you, what's your area of expertise? That's a nice question to be asked. The second question you then follow that up with is, what's going on in your business right now that's really important? Or tell me about a big project that you're working on, or what are you working on in your business right now that's really key to your business? And again, they will tell you. Now, as a financial advisor, you might be hoping when you ask that question, that they might reply, oh, well, the really big issue in our business right now is putting a pension scheme in place. And trust me, they're not going to say that. I promise you, they're not going to say that. Their answer might actually be something quite banal. They might actually say something like, well, actually, the really big issue right now is getting a reliable photocopier supplier. And that's fine. If you've got a good photocopier supplier in your business, then introduce them. That's what networking is. And then the third question is, well, that's really interesting. Who could I introduce you to that could help you with that project in your business? Or what sort of expertise do you need that would really help you to bring that project in quicker, faster, cheaper, whatever? So what's your area of expertise? What's going on in your business right now that's important? And maybe I could introduce you to somebody who could actually help you. That is what networking is all about. And those 3 questions or permutations on that theme, you could actually use those on LinkedIn as well when you're interacting and engaging with people. And, as part of your general messaging, you could ask similar sort of question. What's your skill set? What are you working on? Who could I introduce you to? I see from your profile that you play golf. How did you get started in your industry? What prompted you to look at my profile? Congratulations on your promotion. Simple stuff that shows you're interested in them and you're not interested in promoting your services. Trust me, when you show interest in them, they will become far more likely to refer you and introduce you to their friends, their colleagues. They may even want to do business with you themselves. So let me introduce you to someone who is an amazing networker. This guy, Ernest Prudence, long dead now, but he was an entrepreneur. He was a subject expert like you guys, loved his golf, and he was an absolute avid networker. As I said, he was a subject expert. And if Ernest was on LinkedIn today, his profile would say that he was the founder and chief executive of the new Peloton engine company in Leeds. He built engines. What he also did was make engines that have already been built more efficient. In fact, Ernest was offered a knighthood after the war because he found a way to make aircraft engines more efficient so they could fly further on the fuel that they've got. As I said, Ernest was an engineer. In fact, he was an engineer of considerable global repute. He invented a few things that we know and possibly use every day. He invented the dimmer switch. He invented hydraulics. He invented, bless him, the dishwasher. So all of a sudden, we like Ernest quite a lot. Yep, Ernest was a very, very clever guy. I also said that he was a networker, and he used to hang out with some really interesting people. One of his best mates was another engineer, the gentleman on the left. I don't know if you know who this is. The gentleman on the left was Barnes Wallis, Sir Barnes Wallis, inventor of the bouncing bomb. In fact, it turns out they were next door neighbors for quite a while. Early in Ernest's career, he used to hang out with the guy on the right, and the guy on the right is John Logie Baird, the man who was widely credited with inventing TV. And I don't know if you've ever heard the story, but when John Logie Baird first presented television to the world, there were, I think he was in a lab around about Crystal Palace, somewhere around there, and there were about 10 or 11 eminent scientists and engineers in the room with him. And Ernest was one of the people in the room. So subject expert, but an absolute avid networker. And I'm very proud to say that Ernest was my grandfather. And he always used to talk about this concept that we've all heard, we all know it, we all love it, people buy people. They always have done, and they always will do. Now, one of the reasons that big brands have a problem with social media is that big brands don't want to sell their products and services through their people. They want you to buy into the brand, its history, its reputation, it's what it stands for. And the idea of their staff using social media to promote them absolutely scares the hell out of big brands. But for us smaller organizations, even if we are proud of our branding and our website and all the good stuff that we do, ultimately, it's still us as individuals that our clients and our prospects are going to buy into. And this is where LinkedIn comes into it. Now, it's worth also looking at how business professionals like yourselves typically attract new clients and new connections. Before we had the internet, it was done like this. We'd be at a dinner party. Somebody would mention personal finance, and someone would say, oh, I need a financial advisor at the moment to help my daughter buy her first house, or I need to get my pensions and my investments sorted. Does anybody know a financial advisor? And someone around the table would say, check out my financial advisor, Jones & Co. They're fantastic. And we would write their name and their phone number down on the napkin, and the next day we'd phone them up. That's what we did before the internet came along, before search engines came along. Today, it's a little bit different. We're at that dinner party. Someone says, check out Jones & Co. We say, thanks for that. We write it down on the napkin. And the next day, we don't phone them up. The next day, we check them out online first. Whether that's we go have a look at their website, we go see if we can find them on Google, we see if we can find them on LinkedIn, anything that we can find out. And our most basic human need is there a picture? Do we like the look of them? Here we are as a profession striving for professionalism and high quality standards and all those exams and qualifications. But the first thing people want to see is, do I like the look of you? And also, while we're online checking out Jones & Co., it is inevitable that the Google search results are going to show us Smith & Co. and Williamson & Co. and a few other financial advisors. And the LinkedIn algorithm does that as well. When we look at financial advisors' LinkedIn profiles, LinkedIn puts a list of other financial advisors down the side that we might want to be distracted by. Now, it's entirely possible that while we're doing our search for a financial advisor or pensions expert or whoever, we might actually spot in the search results a video or a podcast that someone has put together. And it may well be that that video or that podcast actually answers the questions that we've got. And it may well be that we actually think, we don't need to speak to Jones & Co., at least not for now. So we've got some interesting things going on. The traditional referral route is starting to creak. And it worries me a lot when financial advisors tell me that their primary source of referrals is primary source of leads is referrals, because that is starting to creak. And we need to either get better at getting more regular and higher quality leads, and there are ways to do that. I think I recommended Bill Cates' book in the first presentation, but we need to get better at referrals or start thinking at other ways of doing this as well. So let's say someone's looking for us on LinkedIn. How do we go about making sure that people find us and want to talk to us on LinkedIn? So it all starts with you, and we create our profile, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We include keywords throughout our profile, and these are the sort of words that people might be searching for on LinkedIn. We do some stuff. By stuff, I mean interacting, engaging with other people, posting content and commenting on other people's posts. And we also use a few hashtags, which I'll talk about a little bit later on as well. So there we are. We've put our profile together. We think it's fit for purpose. It is now ready to be found in the LinkedIn search results. So right now, as I said, there are people on LinkedIn searching for the expertise that you have got. And let's say they do a search. Maybe they're searching for pension planner or retirement planner in Edinburgh or Bristol or London, something like that. And let's say that you've created a really good LinkedIn profile and you have come up high in the search results. So these LinkedIn members, they've singled you out. So the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go have a look at your profile. Most of them will not send you a personalized connection request. They will just look at your profile in the first instance. But let's say, for sake of argument, that they do want to connect with you, and maybe they do send a message saying, "Hi Mike, hi Mary, I've just found you on LinkedIn. It would be great to connect." And what will normally happen is there might be a few exchange of messages, and in normal times, at some point, you're going to have to get them off LinkedIn and into a coffee shop so that we can have a real conversation. Right now, while we're still in the middle of the pandemic, there might be an exchange of messages, and we might say, look, should we have a phone call? Should we have a Skype? Should we go on to Zoom? Now, what you're seeing broadly there is what we want to happen. You position yourself on LinkedIn. People search and find you on LinkedIn. They look at your profile. They connect. We then communicate, and we end up having a coffee. If that all goes to plan and they become a client, maybe somewhere down the line, we end up in a champagne bar as well. What I'm focusing on today is the making sure they find you bit. And we're just going to start on the messaging bit. We're going to do the messaging bit in the next session. So those conversations that you have on LinkedIn, start by leading people to your value ladder. And if you're watching the first presentation, to me, the value ladder is all important. It's something that most financial advisors do not have, but I'm starting to see they're starting to build. But I believe that the interaction and engagement people have with you on LinkedIn is actually a valuable early step on the relationship building value ladder before they actually decide to do some financial planning with you. And just a quick reminder of what a value ladder is. It is a way of giving people a taster of your products, your services, and what you're about, so that it makes it inevitable that they want to work with you at a much higher and, dare I say, a much more expensive level. And we're seeing, more and more dentists these days offering teeth whitening, teeth cleaning for free, just to get you in the building, just to get a testimonial, just so that you can treat them well, so that it makes it inevitable that they want to work with you over the longer period of time. A chiropractor, again, exactly the same thing. What they really want is you to spend a lot of money on an ongoing care plan and maybe a wellness retreat. But it all starts down the bottom, nice and simple, free consultation, maybe some free massage as well. For financial advisors, you could do any of these things. And I'm not suggesting you do all of them, but just pick 3 of them, pick 4 of them. Start by writing some freebie guide. I'm doing another challenge in this process to help people create their first freebie guides, that sort of thing as well. You've heard me talk about scorecards before, but All of these things are a way to get people's attention, give them a sense of you, your expertise, and your credibility, so that it makes it much more likely that they will go up your value ladder and do financial planning. So let's start looking in a bit more detail at LinkedIn. There's a lot of people on there these days. It's still dwarfed by Facebook, but most financial advisors' clients are to be found on LinkedIn. Now, here's the thing. If you are on LinkedIn as a financial advisor, a financial planner, the simple fact of the matter is you are marketing yourself. And if you are not receiving inquiries out of the blue from complete strangers, then arguably you're not marketing yourself as well as you could be. So we want to make sure that it is. And it all starts with your profile. And you need to ask yourself some really simple questions. Does it get people's attention? Does it empathize with their problems? Does it communicate in a tone that's unique to you? Are we avoiding unnecessary jargon? And are we doing a good old-fashioned call to action as well? Profiles need to do that. Your LinkedIn profile should not be a CV. It should be if you're looking for a job, but if you're just on there as a financial planner and you're happy in your role, you're happy in your business, then fundamentally it's a lead generation tool, and it will not generate leads if it's not doing these 5 things here. It also should do something else. Your LinkedIn profile needs to create curiosity. It needs to say something that really piques the attention of your dream clients. And I want you to imagine that your dream clients are looking at your profile. There's got to be something on there that says to them, wow, I need to spend a bit more time looking at this guy or this lady's profile, and maybe I should go look at their website as well. So fundamentally, it's about people buying people. Just a few really, really quick numbers. Every statistic that ever comes out that says, compared to other social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the others, LinkedIn is much more likely to result in somebody having a closer, longer look at your profile. When you ask people who are really crushing it on LinkedIn, how has LinkedIn helped you? This is what they say. These are the top 3 things. Researching, therefore proof that it's a search engine. Reconnecting with people you used to know, building relationships with people who could influence potential customers. So I just want to use an example here. So maybe I've discovered Harry, maybe I discovered your profile on LinkedIn. Okay, and I'm looking at your profile. I'm just on there. It is actually quite unlikely that you and I, Harry, will actually do business together. What is more likely to happen on LinkedIn is that I will refer you, Harry, to someone who I believe needs your help. Or you might refer me to someone who you know. It's that 2nd and 3rd degree connections. Yes, it does happen that you will do business with people you're connecting with on LinkedIn, but what is more likely to happen is 2nd and 3rd degree connections. And there are other things that people say work very powerful. So it's really important to remember those top 3 things on LinkedIn. If I'm going too fast for you, I apologize. I said you will get the slides, you will get the recording as well. So let's assume that your prospects are already on LinkedIn. Your job is to find them or help them to find you, to get their attention through curiosity, and then to start a conversation with them that leads somewhere. And all of the sort of things that you might want to do in your business, once again, LinkedIn is head and shoulders above everything else. Google Plus doesn't exist anymore. Making professional connections, LinkedIn way ahead. Improving the effectiveness of your network, LinkedIn way ahead. Building your brand identity, way ahead. Cultivating prospects, way ahead, way ahead, way ahead every single time. You just have to know how to do that. So fundamentally, if we start looking underneath the hood of LinkedIn, there are 3 core themes and 10 core elements. The 3 core themes are identity and reputation at a personal and corporate level, networking. That means building your network and connecting other people together, and sharing or learning knowledge. Those are the 3 core themes. The 10 core elements are the main bits/features of LinkedIn. Now, what's quite interesting is that most financial advisors are only using the top bit, the personal page. Most are not using company pages or showcase pages. Most are not using groups or any of the other features that there are within LinkedIn. Remember, I said quite early on, the more bits of LinkedIn that you use, the more LinkedIn will reward you by making you more visible in the search results. All of the bits of LinkedIn are searchable within LinkedIn. Remember, so it's a really powerful search engine. And I get a lot of financial advisors say to me, oh, but LinkedIn's just a business audience. Well, there are thousands and thousands of company pages on LinkedIn, but all of those company pages are made up of people, individuals. And the simple fact of the matter is every single occupation that you can think of is on LinkedIn. Yes, recruiters are on LinkedIn. As I said, if you are being approached by recruiters on LinkedIn, it's your fault, okay? It means that you've not set up your profile and aimed it at your dream client. It means you've set yourself up as a generic financial advisor that looks the same as every other financial advisor. Okay, so let's dig a bit deeper. So we need to have a plan. Just like our business, we need to have a plan. And we've heard that expression, we haven't got a plan, we're planning to fail. Yeah, all that stuff. So what is your LinkedIn plan? And here's the thing, a LinkedIn plan does not need to be a 10-page, 20-page white paper, okay? It can be written on the back of an envelope. It can be written on one sheet of paper, but it does need to have some fundamental elements to it. Why are you on LinkedIn? What are you trying to achieve? And how are you measuring the results? Now, this is my LinkedIn plan. There's the proof that it doesn't need to be a 10-page document. This is my LinkedIn plan. And it is to attract speaking, training, and consultancy business. To do that, I have to be visible where my clients and targets hang out online. I have to create conversations with those people and then take them off LinkedIn to something which offers them high value. And my online scorecard is the primary place I do that. However, for financial advisors, when I connect with financial advisors on LinkedIn, I generally point them to our Facebook group, which is just jam-packed full of content and value for financial advisors. My target markets on LinkedIn are conference organizers and people who book speakers and trainers, financial advisors and providers, sales and marketing leaders. So if I want to speak at a big conference, I really aim at sales and marketing leaders, and also do work in schools and universities as well. So they are my target markets as well. So fundamentally, I've got 4 target markets, but in all 4 of them, that's my plan: be visible where they hang out and start conversations with them. But I've positioned my profile in such a way that they will find me. I know where they hang out on LinkedIn. Most of them take conference organizers, for example. There are at least 3 groups on LinkedIn, each of which have got 100,000 members, all of whom book speakers, organize conferences and meetings as well. So I know where they are on LinkedIn, and I know how to engage with them. But if I position my profile correctly, they will find me. And I do that by gaming the algorithm. And gaming's the wrong word. It's knowing how the algorithm works, so that I will come up in their search results. Now, I'm not going to go into this in too much detail, but for those of you that are on LinkedIn and you want to use it and you want some tactics as part of your strategy, these are some of the things that really work quite well on LinkedIn right now. Story-based status updates, just simple observational things that happen in your life. Video status updates, commenting on other people's content, I am going to talk about that. Commenting on niche content, I am going to talk about that. Commenting in groups, live streaming, and instead of just doing text messaging through the LinkedIn messaging tool, actually send audio messages, and you can send video messages as well. These things start conversations. Okay, so let's look at profile pages. What do we think the single biggest mistake is that people make on LinkedIn? Well, let me ask you, just type into the chat box, what do you think is the single biggest mistake that people make on LinkedIn? Just pop something in there. And let's see what you think that might be. Single biggest mistake that people make on LinkedIn. Too sales-based, it's an interesting one. Doing nothing, that's a really good one. What about you, Harry? What do you think the single biggest mistake is? Not showing their face on the profile page, trying to sell. Yeah, I mean, you're all kind of in the right territory. If you haven't got a profile, a picture, you might as well not be on LinkedIn. Simple as that. If you're going to be salesy, again, no one's interested. Remember I said earlier, this is a networking platform. It's not a broadcast platform. Okay, so the actual answer is not fully completing your profile, with the emphasis on the word fully. LinkedIn wants people to get value, and that means they prefer to show in search results only people who've got a fully completed profile, or a profile that is fairly complete, almost complete. They want people, if I'm doing a search and I'm looking for a financial advisor, LinkedIn is going to prioritize financial advisors who have really worked hard at completing their profile. So fully complete the profile. And LinkedIn tell us that people with complete profiles are 40 times more likely to receive opportunities through LinkedIn. I actually think it's higher than that, just from personal experience. So fully completing a profile is really good. Other mistakes people make, yes, not having a profile picture, not putting their contact details on, not engaging with other people and their content, and forgetting the concept that people buy people. If you come across as salesy, as you come across as a jerk, no one's going to show any interest to at all. So when I say fully complete your profile, this is the job of work that you have to do. Now, I get it that you might be thinking, okay, oh my blimey, this is going to take a lot of time. This is the only bit about using LinkedIn that is time consuming. But once you've done it, it's done. These are all the sections on a typical LinkedIn profile. And there might be some things there that you've not actually seen before. So what you want to do is, next time you're on your LinkedIn profile, you will see a little button that says add a profile section or something like that. You just want to follow the prompts that LinkedIn gives you, and you want to fill out as many of these sections as you possibly can. But some of the sections are more important than others. And by saying more important, some of the sections are used by the LinkedIn algorithm to determine who appears in the search results. And I'm going to go into a couple of those now. Now, if you want to appear high in search results, first of all, fully complete your profile. You want to connect with as many people as you possibly can. LinkedIn's idea of being well connected is not what you and I know it to be. Being well connected is a very different thing from what LinkedIn's definition is. LinkedIn's definition of well connected means having a large network on LinkedIn. Here in the real world, you would build a network around about people who have similar interests to you, people in the same interest, in the same industry as you. It's a very different thing on LinkedIn. So, for example, when someone sends me a connection request on LinkedIn, I accept connection requests from absolutely everybody except for obvious spammers. And you can spot them a mile off these days. You need to include hashtags in your posts. We'll talk about that. You need to engage with other people's content. And by engage with other people's content, all that really needs is for you to click a like button, or to say, great post, Mike, thanks for that. That's it. That's all we need to do. Great post, Mike. And when you do that, the LinkedIn algorithm recognizes that as a networking behavior, not a broadcasting behavior. So they reward you by putting you higher up in the search results. And you also need to decide on keywords, which we'll talk about in just a second. Another benefit from having a fully completed profile is that when people search for you on LinkedIn, on Google, your LinkedIn profile will appear very high up in the search results. So if I type in my name, my own website comes up top, the Governor of Maryland comes up second, and my LinkedIn profile comes up third. It changes from time to time, but usually a fully completed LinkedIn profile will put you very high up in Google search results. Okay, so let's get this profile nailed. And there's a clue in that image there as to what I'm going to get at. Our profile needs to create curiosity. It does not want to send people to sleep, okay? The problem with most financial advisors on LinkedIn is they all say the same thing. Their profiles all look the same. They all use the same words. And that's why recruiters have a field day. None of you are paid to look and behave like anybody else. Audrey Hepburn here. One of them's real, one of them's fake. The fake one gets booked to appear at conferences so that you can have a selfie with her, okay? The real one is the real deal. She had to work hard to become the actress she became. None of you are paid to look and behave like somebody else. You've got to differentiate yourself. And differentiating yourself is fundamentally about giving something of yourself on your LinkedIn profile, but also proving that you are ultra clear about who you want as your dream client. What I'm going to urge you to do is to write your profile and aim it at your dream client. If your dream client was to get in touch with you today by email or through a Facebook ad, or they just happen to knock on your door, or they found your website, what would your dream client look like? Now, I'm just going to use an example for sake of argument right now. If I'm a financial planner and I happen to specialize in people in the medical profession, maybe I used to be a doctor, maybe I've now become a financial planner. So it is obvious that people in the medical profession are going to be my ideal clients. But my dream client might not be a nurse. My dream client might be a heart surgeon. And maybe my dream client is heart surgeons who are concerned about their income in retirement. So my LinkedIn profile needs to prove that I know about the needs, worries, concerns, motivating factors of heart surgeons. So my LinkedIn profile actually ought to say something like, are you a heart surgeon concerned about your income in retirement? And if I get those kind of keywords throughout my profile, the LinkedIn algorithm will do the work for me. I need never pay for advertising. I need never pay for some consultant to reach out to the medical profession. They will find me. But here's the thing. If your profile is aimed at your dream client, what also tends to happen is that people who are not quite your dream client actually get curious as well. It gets their attention as well. And it's almost like they aspire to want to work with you. So you want to write your profile, aim it at your dream client. And if you specialize in heart surgeons who are concerned about their income retirement, the chances are you've got a lot of knowledge and credibility around financial planning for heart surgeons. So you will know what they're worried about right now. Yeah. You will know what they're thinking about. You will know what excites them. You will know what motivates them. You will know what podcasts they listen to. You will know what newspapers they read. You will know what YouTube, you will know a lot about them. And your profile needs to prove that you know that. Yeah. So I have a profile test that I create, and your profile needs to be that good. Needs to be that good. Let's just narrow that down a bit. It needs to be irresistible to your dream perfect client. It needs to prove to them that you're the financial advisor for them, so they think, right, I don't need to talk to anyone. I've found who I'm looking for. Yeah. Now, here's an interesting example. Now, this guy here, I invite you to look at this picture. This is a real LinkedIn profile photo. He's a gentleman who's on LinkedIn. I invite you to think about, at a gut human level, how do you feel about this guy? Now, most people, I mean, you know nothing about him. This picture could have been taken in a police station, but this is a real LinkedIn profile. And most people at a gut human level think, okay, I know nothing about him, but he seems like a nice enough guy, which straight away tells us something about the importance of a profile photo. But this is Art, and Art runs an office supplies outlet in Milwaukee. Now, Art knows that every other office supplies outlet in the entire United States and Canada is on LinkedIn, and they all look the same. They all say the same thing on their profiles. And when you go visit their websites all say the same thing. They all sell the same stuff, and it's a race to the bottom on price. So Art decides that he needs to differentiate himself from all the other office supplies outlets. And the way he does it is through himself. Now, what I've just scraped off here is just some of the stuff that is on his LinkedIn profile. Nothing about we sell photocopiers cheaper than everybody else. There's self-deprecating humor. And, you know, arguably it's a little over the top for financial planners or accountants or solicitors. But he's using the principle that people buy people. The testimonials for this guy are absolutely off the scale. He has an online service like everybody else, but no one uses it apparently, because people would rather get in their pickup truck and drive 3 or 4 hours to his office supplies outlet in the hope that he'll actually be there. People buy people, and they even do on LinkedIn as well. So as financial planners, I'm not suggesting that we start becoming jokers and we start have spinning bow ties on our LinkedIn profiles, but we start to be a little more human, and we start to really focus on the people by people element. Now, these are the words that are on your profiles. I look at a lot of financial advisors' profiles, and these are the words that I see consistently time and time and time again. And I know for a fact that all of us can tick off a few of those that we've got on our LinkedIn profile. Yeah. Now, if you look at that list, where do those words actually belong? To me, those words belong on a CV. They don't belong on a LinkedIn profile. They really don't. They don't jump off the page like the words on LinkedIn's, on Art's profile. So just a few quick suggestions. Write it in the first person, be punchy, tell stories. Client case studies are just a dream on LinkedIn profiles. Say something that you care about. If you love music, put that on your profile. If you love kickboxing, put it on your profile. If you love the outside world, hiking, shooting, fishing, put that on your LinkedIn profile. Write it, aim at your customer, be assertive, get some personality, get some images, videos, pictures, graphics onto your LinkedIn profile. Just doing that straight away will make an immediate improvement to your LinkedIn profile as well. You can be direct. If you're a chiropractor on LinkedIn, in your professional headline, write something like, do you suffer from chronic elbow pain? I mean, why else would you be looking at a chiropractor's profile on LinkedIn? So we can be a little bit more salesy, but what we're actually doing is we're not being salesy. What we're actually doing is asking a question to our target clients that we know they have a problem with. So your LinkedIn profile is not a CV, it's you. In the absence of you in the real world, that's what else we've got. So a good little exercise to do, and I would like you to do this exercise, not right now, but before we next meet, is to come up with a list of 12 keywords that these are sort of words that if someone was to type them into the LinkedIn search box would hopefully result in you appearing in the first page of results. So that removes all that, I mean, taking away all those words about being motivated and organized and all that stuff that we've just seen, but start thinking about, okay, what are people typing into the LinkedIn search box right now? So if you are an expert in retirement planning for heart surgeons, then retirement planning for heart surgeons is one keyword. If you're an equity release specialist in Reading, then equity release specialist Reading is one keyword. So you need to have a real think about your business. Who do you serve? Who are your dream clients? What are their problems? What are their worries? And see if you can come up with 12 keywords. The next thing you need to do is to number those keywords in order of importance. So the single most important keyword is number 1 on the list. I mean, pensions is a keyword, and that's fine. But there's 1,000,001 other financial advisors who've got pensions on their profile as well. What we're trying to do is differentiate you, stand out from the crowd so that people actually find you. Okay, so come up with 12 keywords, and if you can't come up with 12, that's absolutely fine. So if you can come up anywhere between 6 and 12 is absolutely fine. Make them as focused as you possibly can, number them in order of importance. The next thing you need to do is to try and take the top 5 keywords on that list and get them into as many sections of your LinkedIn profile as you possibly can. Now, you could just type them out and copy and paste them into each of the sections. That's fine. That would actually game the algorithm, but far better if you manage to weave them into some nice flowing prose as well. There are some other keywords that you might just want to think about. So the keyword exercise, just take a little bit of time over it. Maybe some keywords related to services you offer, technical skills that you have. So you might put, I don't know, cash flow modeling for heart surgeons might be a keyword, yeah? Industries that you serve, healthcare, law, accounting, and maybe some industry buzzwords. Now, we don't want too many buzzwords, but bear in mind that some people are on LinkedIn right now, they're typing in SIP expert. Yeah, so kind of think about that as well. Maybe a couple of business skills. We don't want to go over the top with that, but also locations as well. So if you focus on heart surgeons in West London, then heart surgeons in West London would be one keyword. That's an exercise I would like you to do. And if you can, find the time to get those keywords edited into your LinkedIn profile. And I promise you that one thing alone will make an immediate and measurable improvement in your visibility in search results. And when you are more visible in search results, more people come visit your profile. It's as simple as that. You might also want to come up with 3 or 4 hashtags that you want to be associated with as well, because as you see on Twitter, as you see on Instagram, hashtags are a thing on LinkedIn as well. So pension planning, all one word, could be a hashtag. So when you are putting your own posts, your own content, or you are commenting on other people's posts on LinkedIn, you could add a relevant hashtag to the post. So if somebody else, even another financial advisor, has written a post about retirement planning, maybe it's going to be something in the budget next week, yeah, about retirement planning. A financial advisor might post something on LinkedIn about something that's coming up in the budget. And what you can do is just go, yeah, great post, Harry. Thanks for the heads up, hashtag pension planning. That's all you need to do. Even comment on other financial advisors. Get other financial advisors to do the work for you, but you know better that you will get more profile views because you're the networker, not the broadcaster. Okay, one thing you can do, you might want to think about doing this, is customize your LinkedIn URL as well. Now, LinkedIn changes where you edit these things quite regularly, so just dig around, edit your URL, and you'll notice there that I've even taken my name out of it and I've replaced it with keywords. Sales is a keyword, keynote speaker is a keyword, sales speaker is a keyword. And by me doing that, it won't guarantee, but it significantly improves the likelihood that I will appear in the search results for a conference organizer who's looking for a sales speaker or a keynote speaker. So you might want to think about doing that as well. Another thing you can do, professional headline. That's the bit underneath your name. What do you notice about my professional headline? Well, there are fundamentally 3 things that you might notice about that. First of all, it's a question. Who is that question aimed at? It's aimed at one of my target markets. Are you looking for a high content LinkedIn expert and speaker for your next conference or event? When conference organizers arrive on my profile, they won't be looking at my profile unless they're looking for a speaker. And by me asking that question, it subconsciously puts the word yes, hopefully, into their head. So I'm asking a question in my profile, and I'm asking it at one of my target markets. And I've also done another thing you've probably noticed. I've capitalized the first letter of each word. And that is nothing more than a copywriting technique that makes it look more important than it actually is. But looking important is actually quite important. So what most financial advisors do under their name is they just put financial planner based in Reading, wherever. Okay, that's meaningless. It tells us nothing. It doesn't tell us who you help and how you help them. So what I might do if I'm a financial planner who specializes in heart surgeons, what I might put there is, are you a heart surgeon concerned about your level of income in retirement? Let's talk, or something like that. Yeah. So think about who's your target market, who's your dream target market. Ask a question about a problem that you know they've already got. Onwards. Here's another one that I'm doing right now. Right now, for about the last 3 months and the next 6 months, I'm going to focus really hard on lead generation for financial advisors. So this is what I'm using at the moment. Are you an IFA financial planner looking to work with more of your ideal clients? And again, a financial planner will hopefully know that I'm not just another lead gen person, because I've used the word ideal. I know that most financial planners don't just want any old client. They want their ideal clients in an ideal world. So I'm asking a question and I'm aiming at a problem that I know financial advisors have. You can also put keywords in your name as well. Here's Jeremy down in Cornwall, and he's put financial life planner in his name. You are allowed to put keywords in your name as well, but LinkedIn, what they're looking to, they're happy for you to do that. They don't want you to do that, okay? They don't want you to abuse that particular section. Putting keywords in your name, absolutely fine, but don't overdo it. Just keep it short, keep it sweet, okay? Something else that's fairly new on LinkedIn, you will notice that some people on their profiles have got a little speaker after their name. That's a new feature that LinkedIn's introduced to the mobile app, where you can they give you 10 seconds to pronounce your name. Now, if your name is John Smith, you really don't need to use that tool. But what you could do is use that 10 seconds quite creatively. So what I could do is I could say, are you a heart surgeon looking to increase your income in retirement? Let's talk. I can get that in 10 minutes there. Again, so I'm using it as a question. I'm not being salesy. I'm just addressing a problem that I know my dream client has. You do this through the mobile app. If you go to the mobile app, you can see the editing process through that slide there. Okay, then we've got where we work. And this is an interesting thing, because most people assume this is where we work. It's actually what you're doing. You can, as a financial advisor, you could have multiple experience sections for where you work right now. So you could put, yeah, I'm a financial advisor. You could have another section saying, I'm a financial advisor. We're running a series of webinars on pension planning for heart surgeons. You can put multiple entries in there. Now, what most people do is they see this top line here. They put independent financial advisor, Reading, in there. Again, that's not helping you, and it's not helping you to appear higher in the algorithm, and it's not speaking to your dream client. So what a better way of doing it is put financial advisor specializing in retirement income for heart surgeons. So again, use this line here to reach out to your dream clients. What another thing I often see with financial advisors is they don't complete this bit here. You've got a dirty great piece of real estate that you can use here. Do exactly the same thing. Ask a question. Do you want to learn proven ways to get more leads and customers from LinkedIn? Ask a question, then get some keywords in there. So if I just go through this here, starting at the top, keyword, 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 I mean, keywords everywhere. Okay, so make sure in the current experience section that you aim it at your dream client and get those keywords in there as well. When you list out your website, you can have up to 3 websites listed out. But what are you see the arrows there? They are pointing to keywords. Book me to speak at your event. Proven online marketing. LinkedIn cheat sheet. Most financial advisors don't have those keywords written next to their website. The way you do that is when you edit your website. So in the settings, you have to dig around to find this. You put in your website, and instead of choosing company website, personal website, you choose other. And when you choose other, it lets you write in some free text here so you can get in some more keywords as well. You want to show your birthday as well. It doesn't show the year of your birth, but it does show your birthday. And the reason you want to show your birthday is that LinkedIn, every time it's your birthday, LinkedIn tells everybody in your network that it's your birthday. And a lot of them will send you a message saying, hi Lee, hi Jason, happy birthday. Most people don't customize the message, but they still click a button that sends the message to you. What's the point in that? The point in that is it gives you an opportunity to start a conversation with people. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for wishing me birthday greetings. How are things in your business right now? Is there anyone I can connect you to from my network? Hi, Mike. Thanks for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. I haven't seen you for a while. What's going on in your business that's important right now? So remember those networking questions? Use the opportunities that LinkedIn gives you on a plate to start conversations with people. Be proud of your LinkedIn profile. I hope what's coming over here is that we're not looking at our LinkedIn profile as just another tool that someone says you ought to be using. This is now an asset of your business. And as such, you want to be proud of it. LinkedIn gives you a badge that you can put on your blog, on your website, on your email signature. When you get the slides, go to that link there and you can download your badge as well. They give you the code and you just drop it into your website. If you don't know how to do that, your kids will do it for you. Don't worry about that. You also want to be as visible as you possibly can. When I do one-to-one consultancy with IFAs and financial planners, it never ceases to amaze me how invisible they are on LinkedIn. There is this perception that just simply being on LinkedIn means your network's going to see you, search engines are going to find you. You actually need to go through the privacy settings and make yourself as visible as you feel comfortable. Many occasions, I found financial advisors posting on LinkedIn and their privacy settings are set so that nobody ever sees their content. What's the point in that? Now, I get it. In this world, we need to be conscious and careful about privacy issues. So what I'm saying, not everybody wants to be completely visible to everybody all the time. So, but LinkedIn's privacy settings are really quite extensive. So what I would suggest is go through them all and set it to be as visible as you feel comfortable being. Okay. Now, just this one's just amazing. Again, never ceases to amaze me how many financial advisors have fallen into this trap. So we've got a great profile. We're appearing high in the search results. I've done a search. I'm looking for a financial planner. And let's say Tom here has come up in the search results. So I'm looking at Tom's profile and straight away, it just says he's a financial planner. It doesn't tell me that he's a specialist in heart surgery. It doesn't tell me that he's a specialist in retirement planning for heart surgeons. Okay. And I'm looking at, but I like the look of his picture. He seems a pleasant enough guy, but he's come up in my search results. He's the one who's got my curiosity. However, this is a screenshot of Tom's profile page, and I've blanked off the right-hand side of his profile page. Do you know what is on the right-hand side of his profile page? Well, let me reveal it. Down the right-hand side of most people's profiles is a column headed People Also Viewed. So let's unveil them all. And what have we got here? Other than Tina, everyone in that list down the right-hand side is potentially a competitor of Tom's. Now, I've already said that most financial advisors are not in competition with each other, but such is human nature that it may well be that I'll look down that list on the right-hand side because I can't help it. It's staring me right in the face. Okay. And there's Sandy and there's Tina and there's Liam, and Liam's got some letters after his name. And there's Adam. Now, Adam, let's look at Adam. He's got letters after his name. Tom doesn't seem to have letters after his name. Adam seems to be a chartered financial planner and Tom seems to be just a regular financial planner. Maybe to me, an ignorant heart surgeon, or anyone else for that matter, maybe because Adam's got letters after his name and he's got chartered, maybe Adam's better than Tom. Maybe I'll go have a look at Adam's profile as well. Maybe I'll have a look at Alex's profile as well. And David says he's a wealth manager. What's that? Maybe I'll have a look at that as well. You see where I'm going with this? These are the distractions that our clients, our prospects are being faced with all the time. And there's a good chance that Tom won't get my attention anymore. The good news is it's possible to switch off that right-hand column. And again, in the privacy settings, you can switch that feature off so that your competitors do not appear on your profile distracting people. Okay, got to have a really good photo. Caroline's a financial planner. Some of you may know Caroline, but a nice thing to do is if you see somebody you know and they've updated their profile or something like that, just do something human. Put great photo Caroline. great photo Caroline. It's all you need to do. Okay. Now, hopefully Caroline's, I know Caroline, we get on well. Now that might be enough for her to go, oh, hi Phil, how are you? Haven't seen you for a while. Okay. But I'm genuinely saying great photo Caroline because she's a nice person. But I'm also doing it for another reason. I'm doing it because I know for a fact that some people in Caroline's network who I don't know will go, who's this Phil Calvert guy? Okay. And they'll come look at my profile. And when they come look at my profile, I will then start my process of interacting and engaging with them. And I know for a fact that a lot of people in Caroline's network will be other financial planners. So just by me doing a genuinely nice thing by saying great photo Caroline, I also know that some of her network will come look at me. And so this is a great way to get attention to great people, is just comment on other people's stuff. Your profile needs to be friendly and professional. Okay. This is a financial advisor. Okay. Do we think that's appropriate for financial advisors? I mean, it's an interesting thing. Some people might think, well, all financial advisors look like bank managers. And so maybe this guy here is a breath of fresh air. We have to kind of bear that one in mind, okay? That we have this preconceived idea of what people expect of a financial advisor. This is a financial advisor. I mean, there's nothing on her profile that says she collects reptiles or whatever. Bizarre. This, some of you may even know Frank, yeah? Head of distribution at AXA. I think he's just about to retire, okay? That's not Vince. I'll lay you any money. That is not Vince at Prudential. I mean, what is it about the financial services world that we don't take this stuff seriously? Now, I'm all for a laugh, okay? But if we want the right clients coming to us, we've got to play the game, okay? Now, he's on there as well. I like collecting funny LinkedIn profiles. Now, this was an interesting one. If you look down his profile to his interest section, you will note that he has joined the Wooden Toys group on LinkedIn. There is a group for everyone on LinkedIn. If your target market is the medical profession, you will find multiple groups on LinkedIn for the medical profession. If your target market is people who love football, you will find hundreds of groups for people who love football. There's groups for everyone. If your target market is financial advisors, there are at least a dozen groups for financial advisors on LinkedIn. That's where I hang out, yeah? If your target market is conference organizers, there are groups for conference organizers. You don't join those groups and go, hi everyone, I'm a financial advisor, would you like to work with me? You go into those groups and you just watch what's going on. You comment on other people's stuff until people start looking at your profile. That's a financial advisor. That's a financial advisor on the left. That's a financial advisor on the right. Okay. These are their LinkedIn profile photos. They ain't going to get any business. However, if you have got a distinctive LinkedIn profile, like this profile photo, like this guy here, include some relevance in your profile. So this guy on the right here, he runs a Lexus dealership in the center of London. Okay. And his passion in life is hiking, climbing, walking, travel, the outdoors world. And the first thing you see on his LinkedIn profile is this picture. And the first line of his About Us section says, my passion in life is walking, climbing, and so on and so forth. So he's putting some relevance to the picture. However, here's the point. Human beings are naturally attracted to other human beings where you can see you have something in common. He only needs one person who wants to buy a Lexus or who wants a fleet of Lexuses, who also loves the outdoors world, who's looking at his profile, and they ain't going to go to any other Lexus dealership. Human beings are drawn to other human beings where you have something in common. So when it comes to pictures, let's learn from the people who know what they're talking about. Jeff, the boss at LinkedIn, friendly and professional. Dara, CEO Uber, friendly and professional. Melanie at Google, friendly and professional. Some guy I found who's moved to Buckinghamshire, friendly and professional. Yep. Should our photo make us look confident and competent? That is the temptation that people tend to do with a photo. In fact, that's not what human beings are looking for. An internet psychologist I work with tells me we're not looking for that. What we are actually looking for is, do you look trustworthy? And I think for financial advisors, obviously, that's a really important thing. Now, I'm conscious we've done 75 minutes. I'm going to run until just before past. So if that's okay, you are happy to stick around, that's absolutely fine. But don't forget, you will get the videos if you have to drop off now. So trustworthiness is really, really important. One way to show trustworthiness, if you can, is to show your hands in your profile as well. So if you've done any seminars and somebody's got some pictures of you talking, try and include your hands in the picture. You also want to add pictures to your LinkedIn profile as well. You can now add imagery all over the shop, okay? Absolutely everywhere. You can add them to multiple sections of your LinkedIn profile, but it's important that you do that because some people don't want to read your stuff. Some people just like to look at pictures. Some people want to watch videos. You can put spreadsheets, PowerPoint presentations, PDFs, infographics, and it does make a difference to your profile views. LinkedIn periodically sends you some stats. And when I added these pictures on the first day that they introduced images on profiles, that's what happened to my profile views. So add imagery to your LinkedIn profile views as well. But all sorts of things you could do, but infographics are really, really powerful. Some of you might know Tina. She put a PowerPoint presentation on her LinkedIn profile. Not sure if it's still there, but this PowerPoint presentation was designed purely for people who are visiting her profile, because some people like to look at PowerPoint presentations. Here's a financial advisor in the United States who could have written a blog or done a post about how to improve your credit score, which would have been as dull as you like, wouldn't it? But instead, he created an infographic. You don't need to be an art expert. You can just go to websites like canva.com, drag and drop ready-made infographics, or go onto fiverr.com and create an infographic based around your expertise. Really powerful stuff. Then we have the featured section, which does what it says on the tin. It is a space on your profile to highlight something that's really important to you. And you can choose something that you've already posted on LinkedIn, or you can upload something specially. Right at the top of your LinkedIn profile, you've got this dirty, great big piece of real estate. If I profess to be a speaker, then I'm going to have a big old picture of me speaking. This is there were 7,000 financial planners in that audience in Johannesburg in South Africa a couple of years ago. But you can also overlay text as well. Go to canva.com. Just make sure that there's something on there that gets people's attention. This is the one that I'm currently using at the moment. You'll see that I've also put a picture of me speaking. Here we are in lockdown. A lot of psychologists are saying use your face in your marketing as much as you possibly can as well. I don't know if people want to see my face, but I'm doing what they tell me to do as well. So that's how I'm using the very top there. Some of you might know Pete Matthew down in Penzance. He does his podcasts, he does his YouTube channel. So he's using the space at the top to show him recording something as well. Then we move down to the About section. There are a variety of different ways of doing this. One way to do it is, if you're not comfortable in your copywriting, just do bullet points, simple bullet points. This guy here, he's really gone to town on the bullet point things, perhaps a bit over the top for me, but that's how he's choosing to do it. But another way to do it is in this particular format. Write a couple of paragraphs about me, the hashtags that you use in your posts, who I work with, heart surgeons concerned about their income retirement, how I work with you, face-to-face, Zoom meetings, whatever. Then I offer a freebie, my LinkedIn health check, and then a call to action. That is a model that you can follow as well. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, you will see that in the About section, that's the model that I follow. Going back to Tina again, this is an old screenshot of her profile, but she knows how to use LinkedIn. She knows how to play the game. She's not gone for bullet points. She's not gone for that particular format, that model, but she does know the importance of getting your keywords into your About section. And if we look there, how many times has she got keywords, keyword, 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 all in the first paragraph? Why in the first paragraph? Because when Google comes along to look at LinkedIn profiles, the Google spider generally doesn't go further down than the first paragraph of your About Us section. So it looks at your name, it looks at your picture, it looks at your contact details, and it looks at the first paragraph of your summary about section and no further. So she's got her main keywords into the top bit of a LinkedIn profile. This keyword stuffing, as some people might call it, will make a difference to your visibility on LinkedIn. It will make a difference to your visibility in the search results. It will make a difference to the number of people visiting your LinkedIn profile. Another quite important bit is there's a section which not a lot of people know about called volunteer and causes. And it's there because LinkedIn is now conscious, and I think we're all aware of this, is that more and more of us these days will purchase products and services based on our perception of a business's attitude to the environment and its location. And you can highlight things that you care about in your business. And they include any of these things. Yeah, animal welfare, children, human rights, the environment, and so on and so forth. So you can actually put that in there. Now, I want to use Martin Bamford as an example here. Martin, he's about as good as it gets when it comes to using the internet to promote his business informed choice. But Martin loves his village and he doesn't like leaving town. Okay, he's more than happy to have all the business he'll ever want right on his doorstep. So although, you know, the internet is there to try and encourage us to, we can do business anywhere. Okay, and that's absolutely fine. But Martin loves local business. So he uses this volunteer section to highlight things that he does and cares about locally. So he's event director of Cranley Park Run, chairman of Cranley and Bloom, committee member of Cranley Chamber of Commerce. And this will get picked up by the algorithm as well. So use that to highlight things that you care about or things that you do locally. Then we have quite an important section. It's a clumsy section, but it is actually quite important. The skills section is a place where you can just list out your skills. But when people are searching LinkedIn for a financial planner who specializes in heart surgeons, if I've got retirement planning for heart surgeons in the skills section, the algorithm will very much help me to appear high in the search results there. So it doesn't matter how many endorsements you get for particular skills. What matters is the fact that it gives you an opportunity to have a conversation with someone. So I've got motivational speaking listed out in my skills, but if somebody endorses me for motivational speaking, and here's a list of some of the people who have, what this means is I can go and say, hi, Tim, hi, Ian, hi, Jean-Michel, thanks for the endorsement. How are things with you? Do you know 99.9% of people on LinkedIn never bother to say thank you for endorsements? So they're missing out on opportunities for doing that. So I can go, hi, Ian, thanks for endorsing me. Really appreciate it. How's things in your business? Is there anyone I can introduce you to? Remember those networking questions? These are the opportunities to have conversations with people. Art, what's he listed out as his skills? Invisible to women, more patient than I should be with people who are stupid. So he's continuing the self-deprecating humor throughout his profile, but what we can see quite clearly is that sales is his main skill, yeah? If you have a target market that speaks another language, you can have a second LinkedIn profile and you can have it written in that language if you want. So how do we get people to visit our profile? The thing is focusing on profile views. This is where the action really happens. And it's important to remember that no one visits your profile by accident. They always do it on purpose. Any of these things here, when you get the slides, you might want to print this one out. Any of these things here could result in someone looking at your profile. So the simple thing is do more of this stuff and it will result of people looking at your profile. But the main thing is make sure your profile really, really rocks so that you appear in the search results. Now, if I was to ask any of you, would you like to know the names and contact details of everyone who visits your website? Most of you say, yeah, I guess that would be quite useful. And the reason it'd be quite useful is because you can then follow them up. You can't actually do that. You can't get the names and address, but on LinkedIn, you get the next best thing. In amongst the numbers that LinkedIn gives you, the stats, it tells you who looked at your profile. Isn't that just amazing? It tells you who looked at your profile. Now, if you have the free version of LinkedIn, you get to see the last 5 people. If you've got any of the premium memberships, you get to see the last 90 days worth of people. So I always go for the cheapest one. That's the only reason I have premium LinkedIn, is so I can see the full list of people who looked at my profile, because that is absolute gold dust. It shows you where they work, it gives you a few stats about them, it shows you some pretty graphs, and it shows you a dashboard. Now, one of the things I would like you to do as part of your homework is, when we finish this today or tomorrow or wherever, I would like you please to make a note of the numbers on your dashboard. Okay, this is the starting point for this particular challenge. How many viewed your profile? And don't worry about article views, but search appearances is a useful one as well. So I'd like you to write those down, and then we will look at them again next week, and then we'll look at them again the week after, and then we'll look at them the week after that. Okay, really important that we do that one, please. And then when I can see who's looked at my profile. I mean, how cool is that? So what I can now do is I can have a quick look at Dan and Victoria and Jeffrey and Matey and Fiona's profile, and I can just think, are they the sort of people that I want to follow up? Okay. Most of the time I will follow them up if they are in a regulated industry. Okay. Now here's something else. This is amazing. Periodically, LinkedIn send you some interim stats, and here's one that a screenshot I took, and it says, you have shown up in search results 70 times in the last 3 days. So I'm thinking, okay, my keyword strategy is kind of in the right track here, but what's even better is that 12 of them actually looked at my profile. What does that mean? It means I go and say thank you. Guess what? 99% of people on LinkedIn never bother to say thank you. And as a result, they are missing out on a conversation that could lead to a piece of business. Now, if you've optimized your profile with all the right keywords and you've engaged with a few people on the site, people who could become clients are now looking at your profile. If you don't say thank you to them, you're missing out on an opportunity to have that coffee with them at some point. Full stop. And this is the gaping weak link that most financial advisors have on LinkedIn, is they never bother to look to see who's looked at their profile and go on to engage with them. For the most part, their profiles aren't set up correctly, so they've got recruiters looking at their profile, and that's why they get so cross about it. Okay, but if you optimize your profile for heart surgeons nearing retirement, then heart surgeons and doctors and people in the medical profession will start looking at your profile, which gives you the opportunity to start a conversation with them. Simple as that. That, guys and girls, is the single most valuable feature on LinkedIn by a long way. Okay, say thank you to them. And here's a financial advisor that said to me, the very first time I thanked someone for looking at my profile, I got a valuable new client. It works, full stop. So what we're doing here is we're shifting from social media to social networking. I'm starting to wrap up now. We're shifting from social media to social networking. We can use scripts, and I'm not going to go through the scripts right now. I'm going to talk about a little bit more in the next thing, but when you stick to the end, you'll get the scripts. I've got a variety of different scripts. Now, these look fairly banal on the surface, but there's all sorts of, there's a bit of psychology going on in there. There's some copywriting technique going on as well. I get pretty well a 100% success rate when I use that message for a variety of different reasons. And here's another one. If I want to reach out to someone else, I spotted you on LinkedIn, I'm looking for something we've got in common. And it's the thing we've got in common that really, really makes the difference as well. So the scripts are in the book. Look for things you've got in common, share things that you share. And I mean, here's an example. One of the things I like to try and do is speak at the sales conference of banks or large providers. Okay, so I do a bit of kickboxing, and I can find my way into a bank or to a provider, and I just type in something that I'm interested in. Type in kickboxing, shows me 50,000 results. Most of the first few pages are kickboxing instructors. I don't want one. I've already got one. What I want is somebody who works in a bank. So I then use the filters, and I filter it by location and industry. LinkedIn redoes the search, and there's my way in. Now, I'll lay any money, Rui here is not the guy that books speakers for the conference, but he's my way in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a closer look at his profile. Turns out he's fairly hardcore when it comes to his jiu-jitsu. He's my way in though. So what's the message that I should send him? Do you think I should send him that message? Nope. Okay. That is not the message. And we all know that's not the message I should send him. Yet 99.9% of people on LinkedIn send exactly that message. Don't send him that. This is the message that I send him. That's the message that I sent him. That's the message that started the conversation. That's the message that led us to a coffee shop meeting. That's the message that lent him to asking me, Phil, tell me more about what you do. How can I help you? That's the message that led me to speaking to Santander's sales conference for all its bank managers. Okay, that's how it works. And I can also do it with yoga. Maybe I want to find a conference organizer. There's thousands and thousands of conference organizers. I type yoga into the box because I do a bit of yoga. I filter it by location and industry. LinkedIn redoes it and it finds me 420 people who do yoga, who book speakers for events. That's how you do this. Differentiate yourself through messaging. Don't just send a written message. Why not send a voice message to people? It will make you stand out from the crowd. You can also send video messaging on LinkedIn as well. That will make you stand out from the crowd. Through the messaging tool on LinkedIn, they've even integrated Zoom and Microsoft Teams right there into, so you can be messaging someone and say, look, do you fancy hopping onto Zoom? And you can do it and schedule it right there and then through the messaging tool. Posts, content, it's all about the algorithm, okay? It's all about the algorithm. You post something, most of your contacts will not see it. There are ways to make them see it. Your content has to be aimed at things that your dream contacts care about. The algorithm is looking for engagement. If you post something on there, the algorithm is looking for a few people liking it, commenting on it, sharing it, the speed at which people comment on it, dwell time. In other words, how long people hover over a post before continuing scrolling. All these tiny little factors influence the degree to which your post will get seen. Okay? Make posts about specific things. Ask questions. Follow hashtags that people are using. Use hashtags and also mention people in your posts as well. Tell stories. Try not to use images unless you're on a mobile. Don't include links. Do comment on other people's posts. Do add hashtags and do use video. This is the worst possible type of post a financial planner could put on LinkedIn. I mean, look at that. All that is an advert. All that is an advert. That does not add value to the community on LinkedIn. That's just an advert. And what do you suppose LinkedIn would rather you did? They would rather you paid to post an advert. And where it says see more, there's a link there, okay? And by putting a link in there, what you are actually inviting people to do is to click the link and encouraging people to leave LinkedIn. LinkedIn does not like people encouraging its users to leave LinkedIn. So don't do that. It doesn't matter how cute the picture is that you post. If you post this, and this is the worst type of post that you can put on LinkedIn, check out our latest blog. It's awesome. Don't do that, okay? The algorithm will make sure hardly anyone ever sees that. Don't do that either, okay? Tell human stories. When I screwed up booking my car parking before flying off somewhere, I got a quote off Gatwick or Heathrow. Then I went and had a haircut, came back to book it, and the price had gone up. Okay, that's a human story. Post stuff like that. There's no links. There's no pictures of Gatwick Airport. It's just a human story. That stuff works. 1,200 likes, 227 comments. I got 23 direct messages and I had 21 conversations. Human stories work as status updates. Here's another one. This is really good. Early on in the pandemic, John Young, BBC journalist, came out from doing one of his shifts. Someone had nicked his bike. So he posted a quick video. It works because it was attention grabbing. It got curiosity. It was done on video. It was timely and relevant, had a hint of emotion about it. There was a message in there as well, and it used hashtags. That's almost the perfect post, yeah? This one you might have seen. This one's really well known. This particular one. Emily, HR manager at Asda, went down Leeds town centre. This gentleman stopped her for a coffee, complete stranger. She had a coffee. He spent 2 hours with him. 230,000 likes later, 11,000 comments. And there'll be a whole bunch of people would have offered her jobs, I guarantee you, just off the back of that one post. Yeah. This is a really interesting one as well. This lady posted 2 pictures of her. This was quite recent. A picture of her LinkedIn profile that she used to use before COVID, and the LinkedIn profile photo that she uses now. Look at that. Over 500,000 likes, 19,000 comments. That's how you use LinkedIn. Human stuff, people by people. An alternative to posting your own comments, your own posts, is just to comment on other people's, which I've talked about, so I'm going to skip over this. Either just literally scroll through your newsfeed and comment on other people's posts. That's one way of doing it. Or search for a particular topic, retirement planning, investment planning, search for that in the search box. The newsfeed will change, and then just comment on other people's posts, okay? You can search for hashtags, just comment on other people's posts, simple things. So my grandfather, he would type engineering into the box. The feed would then show him posts about engineering, and all he needs to do is just comment on other people's posts. And that sends a message to the algorithm. He's a networker, not a broadcaster. And he can also officially follow the hashtag. There's a little button that comes up that says so you can, if you find the investment hashtag or the pensions hashtag, click the follow button, and that will tell the algorithm that that's a topic that you're interested in, and you will see more content related to that particular thing. So if you see something that somebody else has written, even if it's another financial advisor, just do this. Great post, Maria. Thanks for the heads up. Hashtag pensions, hashtag. That's all you need to do. You don't need to give your opinion. That's all you need to do. The algorithm will spot that. It will reward you for being a networker by making that post more visible, by making you more visible in the search results, so more people will come visit your profile. Or do it another one. Interesting idea, Mike. Have you met Sarah? She's got some great insights in Sarah. I'm happy to introduce you. That's a networking behavior. Yeah. So finally, be clear who you're targeting, know them inside out, back to front, do that plan, play to the algorithm, and start conversations with people. Differentiate yourself, know your keywords, highlight whose problems you solve and how on your profile, fully complete your profile, keep an eye on your numbers, thank people for looking at your profile, start conversations with them, comment on other people's stuff. And we're not going to talk about company pages today because that's not particularly relevant. And I cannot stress enough, have that plan. And I hope, once again, what you're now seeing, that LinkedIn is now an asset of your business. It's not some social media tool that some consultant told you you ought to be already. When you know how to use it, it just works. And remember, underlying all this thing is what my grandfather used to say, people by people. And financial advisors have got a huge amount of expertise and credibility, but people are going to buy into you so they can get access to that expertise and that credibility. So I'm imagining that one or two of you are feeling a little bit like that right now. I've chucked a lot at you in a fairly short period of time. That's absolutely fine. If you've got any questions, just feel free to drop me a line. I'm conscious that we've gone a little bit over time today, which I apologize for, but feel free to drop me a line with any of the questions. Your homework, note down those numbers, write your plan, and it could be as simple as that, and go take the LinkedIn health check. Next session, we're going to give you some live examples. We're going to show you a bit more about engaging with people and what to do with them next, because starting conversation is one thing. It's getting them to think, I really, really want to work with Lee. I really want to work with you, Jason. So your next LinkedIn is on 8th of March at 10 a.m. for those of you. Otherwise, those dates are in the private group. And so feel free now, make a note of that particular link there, linkedinforadvisors.scoreapp.com, linkedinforadvisors.scoreapp.com. Go take the LinkedIn health check. It will give you a personalized view on how you are using LinkedIn. And at the end of that, you'll be able to download the PDF copy of that particular book. So linkedinforadvisors.scoreapp.com. We're done. Really appreciate your time today. Hope you found that useful. Fairly fast paced. I do appreciate that. But once again, feel free to ask any questions at any time. So hope you found it useful. And I'll see you next time. Thanks very much indeed. Take care, everyone.